Hello everyone, welcome to YASH webinar on why SAP Fiori should be our next IT investment. My name is Ram Nandireddy. I am SAP User Experience Practice Lead at YASH Technologies, working on all key SAP Fiori technologies and tools, primarily focusing on Fiori. In today's session, I'll talk about all around Fiori and why Fiori should be our next IT investment. I'll answer any questions end of the webinar. You can type your questions in the chat window. Before we kick it off, I'd like to give a brief background about who we are and what we do. YASH Technologies is a US-based SAP consulting firm. It's 20 years old. We have global offices. We have customers across all different sizes. It's a SAP service powerhouse with 250 projects experience, including 100 implementations, 75 plus upgrades, 50 plus global rollouts, 200 AMS projects. We have across 2,200 consultants across globe doing all services. And it's a strategic partner to SAP and a one-stop shop for Fiori application support and maintenance, implementation, upgrade, hosting, and cloud and software licensing, and any pre-configured all-in-one solution. This is going to be the agenda for today's session. First, I talk about what is Fiori, how it's going to benefit our organization. I'll be doing a live demo both desktop and tablet. We'll talk about the solution offerings, what we have, followed by a system requirements, how you can deploy Fiori apps in our landscape. And finally, we can save some time for question and answer. Let's go to discussion about Fiori. The way people work, they consume the content and experience technology to get the things done is changing at a rapid pace. And there is a growing expectation and demand in the workplace for consumer-friendly experience when using technology to accomplish their task. Addressing all the needs of today's business user, SAP has launched SAP Fiori because SAP users are still using traditional GUI to do their day-to-day activities. So what is Fiori? Fiori is a new user experience that applies modern design principles, providing a role-based experience across all lines of business, tasks, and devices. It enables a holistic and consistent user experience that is personalized to you and responsive and too simple. So it definitely boosts your productivity and your satisfaction and helps users always get the job done much simpler. It's basically a set of apps that address the most broadly and frequently used SAP functions, such as workflow approvals, information lookups, like a self-service task. They provide a simple, easy-to-use access across desktops, tablets, and smartphones. Fiori is, more than just a new user interface. It's a set of cross-device applications that, among other things, allow users to start a process on their desktop and continue the same process in a tablet or smartphone. And it's developing this new user interface in a new interface framework called SAP UI5. SAP Fiori is a new user experience, a new face of SAP with the design principles of role-based, responsive, simple, coherent, and delightful. The design they use and technology, each have 5 core principles. What is role-based? It's designed for your business, your needs, and how you work. It draws from our broad insights of a multifaceted roles of today's workforce. It provides the right information at the right time and reflects the way you actually work. It's responsive. How it's responsive? It enables you to work how and where you want. regardless of device you use, you see the same look and feel. It provides the relevant information that allows for instant insight. Simple. Why it is simple? With SAP Fiori, you can complete your job intuitively and so quickly so that it will help you to focus what is important, the essential functions to do your job. And it's coherent, whether you want to fulfill a sales order or review your latest KPI or manage a leave request, it can adhere to a consistent interaction and visual design language across the enterprise. You enjoy the same intuitive and consistent experience. The last one is delightful. Apart from making you work smarter, it also enriches your work experience by allowing to simply do your job. Let's go in detail about Fiori. There are three different types of Fiori apps: transactional, analytical, and fact sheet. What is transactional? These apps let you perform a transactional task such as creating a leave request for an employee, create a change sales order, or approve a purchase order. They represent a simplified use and interaction with existing business process and solution. They run best on SAP HANA, but can also be ported to any other database that SAP supports with an acceptable performance. Analytical. These apps let you get a role-based insight into a real-time operations of the business by collecting and displaying key figures directly on a browser. It could be a SAP Smart Business application, but can be an analytical, predictive, and planning application. Analytical apps, combine the data and the analytical power of SAP HANA with the integration and interface components of SAP Business Suite. To run analytical apps, we need HANA. The third one is the fact sheet apps. These apps display the contextual information and key facts about central objects used in our business operations. Fact sheets are designed to be intuitive and harmonized. From a fact sheet area, you can drill down into a detail. You can easily navigate from one fact sheet to related fact sheets. For example, like you can navigate from a document to a related business partner or to a master data. To run the fact sheet app, we need HANA. Just to put a real-world scenario into these application types, we'll look at a common scenario called a sales. And if I'm a sales representative, I'm going to create a sales order working with the customer, and it gets approved. Both of these creation of sales order, approve sales order are the pre-built transactional apps in Fiori. If you take a look, this is how it's going to look like the creation of a sales order. You can choose the customer here, you can choose the parts, you can add it, and that way it will create the sales order. How you do the VA01 in SAP GUI. It's much simpler. Once the sales order is approved, it becomes invoice. Now I'm going to review the sales invoice, and I'm going to see the high-level information about invoice. What is the amount due? I can see the data what was entered, and I can see the customer that's being billed. Then I can also drill down deeper to see specifically what are the line items of that invoice, what is the email address of the customer, and this is like a kind of a fact sheet application. You can look into details deeper. This application will display the contextual information about sales order, so you can navigate to the whatever entities you're looking for. And finally, and you are a sales manager, and you want to see the net sales on the go because you have a template, and you want to really quickly bring the application and show me what's the net sales. This is an example of analytical app. This analytical app displays the key performance indicators, the KPIs called net sales. You can drill down to see your net sales over the selected period in the current fiscal year and compare it with your planned amounts and with the history data from the same period in the previous fiscal year. All graphical representative we need to show here. There is one more form of Fiori that is called as a SAP Smart Business Cockpit. these cockpits are a predefined set of apps altogether. They run best in with the SAP HANA. It will give a inside action to cockpit. It's so responsive, and you can personalize to your own needs, and it's seamless, and look and feel is so beautiful. Now I want to highlight a new concept here, the Fiori Launchpad. If you take a look here, and it's one big thing to highlight here is the Launchpad in Fiori provides a single point of entry for all our Fiori applications. The reason why this is so important is you may be having a Fiori application running on CRM, SRM, or ECC, or any SAP Business Suite application. All these applications can appear on the Launchpad. So each tile in the Launchpad represents a Fiori application. You can see the boxes here. And we also have a concept called a group. Here, if you see the buyer and the field sales representative, these are the two groups have been assigned in the backend. So if you establish and you configure the Launchpad, it's going to differ employee to employee in your organization. A simple example, you are a manager and I'm an employee. So my Launchpad only allows me to enter time, enter my expenses. And you are a manager, so you can also have those apps. In addition to that, you are also able to get approve timesheet, approve expense app also. So again, the key concept here, the Fiori Launchpad is, all a role-based security. Then how we can mobilize SAP Fiori? You can do this using SAP Fiori client. You can install SAP Fiori client from your iOS, Android, or Windows Store. All the potential performance issues that you see on mobile browsers can be optimized by running SAP Fiori apps using SAP Fiori client. It has some specific capabilities that mitigate some of the limitations of mobile browser. So the Fiori client will enable to view and use the Fiori Launchpad in a mobile app. All the basic set of SAP mobile platform features like, cutoff plugins, barcode scanning, camera, all these things are automatically enabled in the Fiori client. Second is the second way of, integrating Fiori apps is the enterprise portal. So if you already have an enterprise portal, you can either directly integrate the complete Fiori Launchpad or only one single app, whichever is required. So those can be accessed by a tab sections in the portal. How many apps are available today? There are around like 700 plus Fiori apps available right now in Fiori library. It is covering across all SAP functionalities on different user roles. Who and why a Fiori is needed? A Fiori is needed for a customer who is running ECC, SRM, or CRM, or could be any SAP Business Suite application, and who are looking for a heterogeneous environment like multiple devices, multiple OS, or multiple user interfaces, and who having complaining from business users about the usability of SAP complex transactions, and managers who are complaining about the productivity of their work using SAP system, and who are considering to migrate their SAP to HANA, so that the people can really think about Fiori. Why is Fiori is needed? It reduces your transaction complexity. Not too many fields on the screen, only a few mandatory fields to complete your task. It improves your productivity by simplifying and automating a day-to-day task across any device. It will boost your adoption of the SAP with an appealing EX design tailored to a key task and activities. So that it will increase your compliance, data quality. You don't have too many errors by making it easier to enter data. Obviously, by having all these benefits, it will reduce the training for any new employee join organization. It doesn't take much time to adopt the SAP. And the support cost with a simple role-based scheme that will speed up and minimize your data entry errors. It doesn't need any middleware or additional hardware. Fiori works on very well mobile and desktop platforms. How it's going to benefit your organization? As an employee, it improves the productivity and impacts business results to getting the job done anytime and anywhere. Say entering timesheet or submitting expenses, you can do it anywhere. Don't need to log into SAP GUI. As a management, it streamlines the business process and impacts your business results with a delightful experience. You can directly see your KPIs, all the reports, click on go and your tablet device. As an IT team, you'll be having a lot of complaints from users. It will have cross-device support. It will do all major functions without any software core upgrade. No license fee on this one. Let us take an example of a purchase order creation, how your user experience will be enhanced, how it will be calculated. This is the sample example I took from SAP. So a scenario of purchase order creation, you take a employee, you are paying like 70K per annum to do this purchase order creation, and you are doing like a task completion time is 5 minutes. You are creating a number of POs paid per day are 50. And if the training is needed for new joiners, the number of training hours by trainee is 2 days. And the training hours per year for the new joiners is 48 hours. The cost for it for 1 hour training is $100. And if there is a 200 support tickets in this PO creation in an year, and each support ticket resolution is $100, the data errors to be corrected is like $500, and the cost for each correction is $25. Taking, then the change requests for each purchase or creation process is 10, and it will take like, let us assume a $500 cost to correct the change request. Having these into consideration, if you deploy a purchase or creation Fiori app in our landscape, it can save up to $40,000. That's really a good amount by deploying a Fiori app. Now, I want to go a quick demo how its Fiori look like. Let me log into Fiori. This is how the Fiori launchpad looks like. You need to enter your SAP ID here. I already saved my password, user ID. Enter on password. So this is the Fiori launchpad. So these are all of each tile is one process here. And let us say to take a look track purchase order, order from requisition, or approve purchase order. So let us go to the app of approve purchase orders. So if you see here, like it's taking some time to load. Yeah. So if you see here, I have 10 POs assigned to me for approval. So you can see all the details, who is the vendor, what is the amount, and what's the date we need to approve, who is the approver. And you can see the details about the PO number, account assignment, and you can see the item details. You can drill down, see what is the item, material group, plan, all information you can do quickly. So if you want to hide, you can hide it. And let us say if you want to, you can approve the PO, or you can reject, or you can forward. You can do all the actions. And it's important to know that, the standard Fiori uses all our SAP workflow. This is all based on some workflow process set up in the backend. It doesn't change in the backend. So now I'm going to approve the PO. If you want to add, you can optionally add some comments over there. Let us just approve this PO. Then the PO will be removed from our list. Now the count is going to becoming 9 of 10. So like, now we talk about different applications. This is like one of the example of a transaction application. So now let me show how this is going to look like in tablet device. Let me try to mirror my iPad over there, the screen. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like. The Fiori client in a mobile device. This is a tablet. You need to set up a password here. Then I already entered my user password, so double click here. You can refresh it here. If you see, the look and feel of the Fiori Launchpad is same in desktop and the tablet device. It's so responsive. It automatically adjusted based on the device size. The same app, you can go back here. You can take a look here. You can see all the POs that's been assigned to you. All the information you can see here. You can do the same operation here. Now, I want to show one more thing here. One of the requirement what we got from our customer, the requirement is, for a field service technician who are mostly in field and traveling to attend the customer service calls, it makes difficult for managers and dispatchers to know their work progress and current status. So we don't have any standard application. So we have developed a custom Fiori application for one of the leading equipment engineering company. So take a look here. This app is going to show the number of service orders assigned to service technician, and you can easily look at the priority of the service order. This app can provide a real-time access to your service order, technician, and the manager and dispatcher, so that it will improve your work prioritization based on the criticality and distances. You can, cut down the fuel cost by looking at the priority on go. It will real-time visibility of all the, you can paths assigned to the service order. In this app, the features is, you can look at the info and you can look at the items, or if you want to add an item, you can add a new item here. And again, if you want to put some note, you can put some note here. Or if you want to add an attachment, you can go there, choose attachment. You can take a photo from your library. You can take a new photo, look like close. If you want to look for history of this customer, you can take a look here. What are the service orders we did for this customer? You can look for the details of this one. Everything you can get on go here. So let us go back to our presentation. Let me undo the mirroring here. So we have a RDS solution to set up all the deployment of your Fiori apps in your landscape. So what is RDS? It's fast. It will quickly address specific needs with seamless rapid deployment tools, with having all embedded best practices. It's too simple. It have clearly priced services and project timeframes. It will ensure a predictable outcome. It's a modular and yet integrated solution so that it will ensure landscape integrity. And the solution will support across all environments, on-premise, mobile, cloud, and it's delivered by YASH. So this is the time we are proposing. It's going to take a implementation time of 6 weeks to deploy any 10 apps, any standard out-of-the-box Fiori app. It includes, initial preparation, understand your specific use cases and your system landscape, so that we can do a custom demo before we go into project. Then we can prepare a blueprint document, followed by system installation, installing all the Fiori front add-on tools, set up your backend system, activate necessary service, and switch up to quality and go live. It's a low cost, low fixed cost implementation. Doesn't change based on the company size, and it's a measurable cost. So I put a couple of few apps what we can have from Fiori Apps Reference Library. If you list any few apps here, any 10 apps across any different role, you can be deployed in the measurable cost what I mentioned earlier slide. Initial 10 apps will take 6 weeks, but all additional 10 apps doesn't take much time because we are including a initial system setup as part of the 10 apps implementation. So let us go a little bit detail about what are system requirements you need. Before we go into architecture, I want to talk about what are different components that make up the standard Fiori implementation. And the first one is NetWeaver Gateway. And the easiest way to explain that gateway is pretty much a middleman between SAP business logic, the backend that contains not only a web stack, but also your database tables, which interface between that and our UI. In this case, the UI is Fiori. It allows to do a couple of different things. It launches the Fiori application, and if you want to use some data, the data is going to be passed from backend through gateway to Fiori application. Let us say if you want to update some records, like create a new record or delete some records, then it's going to pass through NetWeaver Gateway from Fiori application to backend SAP. And it's truly just a middleman. The next one is SAP UI add-on. This add-on contains all of your UI libraries, the Fiori Launchpad and tools that you needed to implement the UI5 application. And you can use SAP Theme Designer that will give a custom branding, your color scheme, however you want to have your own company brand logo and everything. The next one we have is Fiori application. They sit on top of SAP NetWeaver and SAP UI5. One important thing you want to know here is all the Fiori applications consumed via BSPs or business server pages, so that they are web applications, so that they can also have being running as a BSP in the back end, so that all our NetWeaver standard security will be applied over there. The final component is OData. It's a basically integration component. This provides a standard interface that we talked about earlier between SAP backend to UI. So the backend is going to send the data through OData so that Fiori application can easily understand it. So real quick, I just want to highlight the typical Fiori architecture. So keep this in mind, this is a central hub deployment, not an embedded deployment. So like you have a mobile device or a desktop browser, it will be between your firewall and it will be connected to gateway, usually with a reverse proxy or a VPN or using a web dispatcher. So that will enable the connection, a trusted connection to the rest of your backend system. So you can have one gateway to multiple SAP business suites. What is needed to deploy Fiori apps? The components. You need NetWeaver Gateway 2.0, a minimum SP07, SAP UI5. You should have SAP Business Suite application depending on the app you want to deploy. And SAP HANA, if you want to go with a analytical or a fact sheet application. How you can customize the SAP delivered Fiori application? So you can do a regular customization, how we are doing in SAP GUI, all enhancements. So SAP has given a framework to be able to modify the standard out-of-the-box Fiori application. We're able to configure the backend. We're able to add a new field. If you want to delete a field, you can do that. You have also some flexibility to change the screen layout, or if you want to add a new screen, whatever the enhancement framework it has in SAP, the same thing we can do with the SAP Fiori application. The next thing I want to highlight is you are not only limited to a 780 standard Fiori apps. You can build your own SAP UI5 application that's called Fiori application. So any process, any custom process you can think of running right now, and some use case to build a custom Fiori application can really develop in Fiori. And the cool thing about a custom Fiori application is that you are able to integrate that very easily with the Fiori Launchpad so that they don't see a difference between a standard app and custom app. It's too completely a transparent process because it's using a open source technology. So we reached the end of the webinar. I just want to quickly go through the fast facts about Fiori. Fiori is SAP UFI feature. A lot of investment being made in SAP Fiori, and it's a next generation of user experience. We have around like 750 plus pre-built applications available right now in SAP Fiori library. SAP Fiori allows to run anywhere. And I want to point one more thing here. It's not commonly misconceived. It's a mobile-only solution. Yes, Fiori runs great on tablet, but on iOS, but it is well suited with your desktop too. It's one point of entry, log into like a web browser, do all your activities. So the reason why I'm trying to push here is the key concept Fiori is providing a common and consistent user experience, no matter what device you're using it here. We also have some flexibility to able to modify it and team it to suit your needs. And another cool thing about Fiori is it's built on an open source SAP UI5 development platform. And the reason why that is so significant is because SAP customers are not limited to a certain 750 available apps. And the final point is it's fixed, a low-cost deployment. It's measured returns by simplifying your business process complexity so that it will reduce your total cost of ownership and training. So if you want to mobilize it, you need to start with Fiori as a starting point. Try to deploy the apps based on your needs.